just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Pack Her Up, Boys. And look, to get your weekend started, to just get moving and grooving. Bit of Fred again, baby. Oh, he's hot. He's so hot right now. Oh. Great tune. Great tune. Oh, stop it. Stop it. I'm about to get loose. Our ritualistic. Sounds good. Tastes good, baby. Pack Her Up, Boys, brought to you by Bloke Beer. Make sure to get into your local, grab a case of Bloke Beer, the best beer in all the land. Sandor is back from America. Hey. Brother, how was America?
Mate, it was so good. I was over in San Diego, California.
Yep.
I was on a business trip, but it was cool to get back over there. Always nice, but yeah, fun. First studio in America, air locker training.
Stop it.
Yeah, bro, it was big. Like, you have those little moments of reflection and you think, how long have I been working towards this?
Yep.
How much effort, how much work? So to finally get open and just hits different. The American people, they're really pumped up about what we're doing. And every person that works in that gym, bar one, is Australian. So
no way. Americans love Aussies
they
too.
Are, mate, love
yeah.
it. It's a cheat code. So
oh, wow.
it was cool to be in there. It was cool to mix it up. And yeah,
I think it's
had a great time.
when situations like that happen, it's weird when you think of yourself as a young fella and you're like, you could never imagine you'd be over in America like helping open a business. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
It's fucking mental.
I remember I was like, I've always been obsessed with America. I think it's just because we grew up watching the movies in Hollywood. Sure. I went over there for the first time when I was 19, actually. 19. Went to Vegas for the first time when I was 19.
That's dangerous.
I'm not sure of the
how did
age
you get
rules
in?
and stuff.
That?
I'm not sure about how that works over there, but
somehow
I got into
it. Sure.
Yeah, somehow I got into a club when I was 19. But
it was one of those underage dance clubs.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, sure.
It was a disco. Actually.
Yeah, blue light.
But, yeah, had a good time. But yeah, I've always loved my time over there. But San Diego's a real cool spot too.
Matty, how you going, brother?
I tell you what, you actually hurt me a bit with that Fred Again song because I've been absolutely smashed by Ticket Tech this year. I couldn't get Fred Again tickets.
Oh, you haven't seen him?
If I couldn't get tickets, I was on there for ages, and my missus got tickets, which infuriated me more.
So she got tickets and didn't buy you a ticket?
No, so her friend got a spare one and took her, which is fine.
Oh, could you imagine the misso?
It's fine. Well, it's not fine, is it?
The misso sitting on Ticket Tech and she's like, yeah, no, I just bought myself a ticket. What?
Nah, she's all right. It's fine, but couldn't get Taylor Swift tickets. I tried to get tickets to some thing in like AFL.
Some strange porn show?
Anzac game in Victoria. I couldn't get to that. So Ticket Tech's screwed me this year.
How'd you go with Sexpo tickets?
I got that. I'm a VIP, so had to jump the queue.
Sicko.
Someone get Matty some tickets. Somebody wants to go.
Yeah, give me some tickets.
Mate, so are you still chasing Fred Again tickets?
Well, no, because last night was his last show, and he's playing a show tomorrow, but I'll be up in Queensland, so that's all right.
You'll be in. Oh, you're heading up.
I'm heading up early with Timmy. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Just a reminder, guys. We will be live New South Wales time from 2:45 till 3:45. Myself, Guru, Timmy, Matty, Hammy, live show with guests, the Great Ray Stone and Matt Gillette. That's right, Matty Gillette. He doesn't do these often. I gave him a call. I said, Gillo, I need a favour, brother. He said, Kempy, anything for you. He didn't really say that, but let's just pretend he did. But he'll be on the show as well. So make sure to tune in between 2:45, 3:45 New South Wales time, and obviously 1:45, 2:45 Queensland time. It's going to be a great, great show. And let's just get as many people watching as possible to show KO what the bloke community is all about.
Tell me what I love about Ray Stone, and hopefully let's bring this up with him on Sunday. I was at a under 19s Origin a few years ago, under 18s Origin a few years ago, and he got sin binned for punching on.
Ooh,
love that.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. And so, what was was it a genuine punch on? Was it a bit of pushing and shoving?
I think there was. He let a few go, and the
That's
game was
really
over.
out of character. He doesn't look like a bloke that would love a stink, if I'm being honest. Doesn't look like a bloke that. Yeah.
He was good, but because the game was over, the Blues had already smoked him, so. I think
timing.
He just felt the need to punch on with the Queenslander.
Which is weird because like everyone always says to me, man, you look like a bloke that loves a stink. They always go, you look like a fucking mongrel on the field. I have to say, mate, I'm a lover, eh? Very, very strange that. I don't understand. Mate, Sandor and Matty, did you watch the game on last night and what do you think?
I liked it. Very entertaining. Some big plays from the Broncos. I mean, they're a genuine contender again. Although, as you said, bro, it wasn't the most free-flowing game, but certainly had plenty of action.
What's as a veteran hot boy, seeing a young hot boy just absolutely froth? How does that make you feel
Those
with Reece
milk
Ross?
stocks went way up. I'll tell you what.
Holy, mate!
I, unlike Sandor, absolutely hated it. It was, as a South fan, it was the most frustrating 80 minutes.
That's right.
Seriously, it's last year. After round 11 was so disappointing, and it just I didn't mind round 1 because I thought they played good in round 1, but round 2 last night just looks like the same team that finished the year last year. It was incredibly disappointing and equally frustrating.
Now, before we get in that, the response to this has been absolutely ginormous, and I know why, because it is a friggin' incredible deal. So, Grilled are obviously a partner with us now. If Broncos are your team, you can get a free grilled burger on Monday. This is how it works. Every time your team wins, you get a free grilled burger the Monday after the game. Here's what you do. You head to the link in the show notes and follow the prompts, which is including picking your footy team and signing up to the Grilled's loyalty program called Relish. Then your team wins, you get a 2-for-1 burger voucher to use on Monday. You've heard of Mad Monday? Well, this is Mad Monday. Guys, takes 2 seconds to sign up, and trust me, that is a deal and a half. So you just lock in whoever your team is. Now, you might want to pick a team.
Wouldn't believe it. I'm a Broncos
Yeah,
fan.
it might be a team that wins a lot. There's going to be a lot of Penrith fans signing up. But go to the link, sign up, free burger. Take the misso, take the partner, take the boys. Imagine a boys meet up every Monday with some free buns, and you're all getting the free buns. 2 sign up. Well, all 4 of you sign up. That's 8 burgers potentially. Sorry, 4 free burgers. That's a whole crew. That's a whole crew. So thanks to Grilled. Make sure to sign up. The link are in the show notes. Hit that link. Support. If you guys hitting that link and signing up, it supports us because obviously then they get stoked with the numbers.
I love that Grilled it's already found its way. It's only been a week. It's already found its way into rugby league vocabulary. So normally, if Souths lose, I'll get a text from one of my mates saying, "Oh, sucked in, Souths lost." I got a text from a mate, Matt Hale. Shout out to him. Said, "Sucked in, no Grilled for you." That was his insult to me last night.
There you go. That's cut through for you. That's cut through. It's kind of like the Seinfeld. No soup for you.
Yeah.
Look, the game last night, super scrappy. Holy, that first 20 minutes, I wanted to gouge my eyes out. Now, I saw a few people thinking it's a Vegas hangover. Look, I don't know. Like, it's been 2 weeks. It's maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. But it's been quite a while since Vegas. Also, both teams played in Vegas, so you'd think they were equal in fatigue or whatever. On top of that, there were some players, especially in the Broncos side, that were outstanding. So I don't know if it was a Vegas hangover. We'll speak of the positives first. Brizzy Broncos, scrappy game, but geez, they got some absolute superstars. Paddy Carrigan up front, holy. The amount of work he gets through and the quality work.
Man,
He's a beast, and his hair just looks stronger every second I see it. Like, he must have said at least 3 times last night, "Get on me hair, boys. Just get on me hair." Payne Haas coming on. Mate, those two, when talk about, like, impact on a team, seriously, nearly unrivaled.
I feel like they're like fallen into that enforcer category as well. Not just the young superstars. Like, even Paddy Carrigan's hard because, as you said, he's so good looking, but they're just like, they're enforcers now. They're intimidating. They're aggressive. To have that in parallel to that young squad that's exciting, like, that's why I love that for the Broncos.
And they, like, literally only have one boss to beat, and it's Fisher, Harrison, Leota. They've conquered all other bosses like in a short space of time, but their end game boss is Fisher, Harrison, Leota.
100%.
So, like, those two, they're just incredible. Their consistency and just their ability to, even when there's not much on, they just bend the line, and also making the right decision in the line they run. Sometimes forwards can run overs way too often and they get dominated, or they can run unders and get dominated because they're not changing their footwork up. Their line selection is almost like 10 out of 10.
How old are they now, Kempe?
Mate, I think Paddy's only like 25, 26.
Because that's what I was going to say. They're like, I know they've played a lot of footy and they've played representative footy at all levels, but they look just veterans, where they start to play the game at a different speed.
Yeah, for sure.
It looks a bit easier.
Yeah. What do you reckon about the boys up front?
Ridiculous. Every time Carrigan touched the ball, it's like he bent the line back. He's ridiculous. Everyone rates Carrigan, and this is going to sound crazy. I actually still think he's not rated properly. I seriously think he is one of the best players in the comp. He's going to be one of the best Broncos ever. He's going to be one of the best Queenslanders ever. Like, he is just unreal. And to have him and Haas in the same team, it's almost unfair. It's crazy. Like, it's crazy. Like, they'll win your comp, them two. It's ridiculous.
What's crazy as well is like he's not even on $1 million a year. Like he's on unders, obviously, to keep that team together.
I remember a few years ago we spoke on this podcast about who would you rather re-sign, Payne Haas or Pat Carrigan, and it was a tough question. And a few years on, it's just as tough. Like
it's so hard.
I still don't know who I'd get rid of if I had to get rid of one.
That is hard.
Oh, it's so tough because they offer like, even though they're nut truckers and they get through a ton of work, they're quite different in the way they deliver. Like for example, the tip on that he gave Kobe Hetherington that Hetherington obviously dropped. Like that's silky stuff at the line, perfect timing, right in the breadbasket. So yeah, those boys are outstanding. I want to talk about Selwyn Cobbo. Oh my God. Seriously, like we all knew in attack that he could do anything at centre, like for sure. You know, we all agreed that if he plays to his potential, he'll win Dally M Centre of the Year. We were just a bit concerned about his defence at centre. I thought his defence last night was outstanding.
Solid,
outstanding. And just his communication with Jesse Arthurs, who I get also. Jesse Arthurs and Dean Mariner, absolutely unbelievable opening 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Absolutely unbelievable. But Selwyn Cobbo, if he keeps this up and I know you're not supposed to summon the GOAT centre, but it was Greg Inglis-like. It was Greg Inglis-like. Look,
it's always been claimed to be his journey.
I'm not sitting, I know he's got a whole career to hit those heights, but that reminded me of a peak Greg Inglis game where you're just thinking even when he decided to go down the wing, like around the centre and winger twice, only GI can find that space. Like only Latrellity's best can find that space.
Only those players that you mentioned back themselves to do that as well.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
What about his
tip on?
The tip on to Arthurs?
Elite.
Fuck, are you kidding me?
That's what I'm talking about. That confidence.
Yeah.
That's not something you train. You know, that's
mate.
in you.
It's unbelievable. So he was really, really good. And, it's only his second game at centre. I'm really excited. If he can keep that defence as strong as that, mate, big year. Smokey for Dally M Centre of the Year.
I reckon, and this is, I'm talking in hypotheticals here. I know Herbie's a massive loss, but if Selwyn plays like he did last night, and then your whole back line of, Reece Walsh at the back, the 2 wingers that absolutely killed it, plus Katoni and Selwyn, that's definitely not worse than last year, put it that way. No. And it's potentially better.
It's interesting. Crazy. You're going to miss Herbie's work rate.
Yep.
But what you lose in that, you might get with Selwyn Cobbo's unbelievable ability to do crazy shit. Time will tell. It's a long season, so
a little trade-off for consistency for
that big moment kind of thing.
Moments, 100%. And Mariner coming in, it's just like,
mate, what about the chip and chase? Mate, nothing's on. Gets the ball on the short side off a slow play the ball, and just goes, I'm gonna make something out of nothing, and just a chip chase in the corner.
Energy,
oh mate,
all 3 tries of his this year have been ridiculous.
Mate, he's played friggin' 6 games and he's got 3 doubles already.
And he's a little bit unassuming for a winger these days.
Size-wise. You know how quick is he?
Gun.
What about Alex Johnson? Gets away and he mowed him down in 20 metres.
So easly.
And Johnson's quick.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Really exciting there. But we have to talk about him, Reece Walsh.
Electric.
Tell me he's not going to be the game's biggest ever superstar. Now, that's not to say he's going to be the greatest rugby league player of all time, but are you going to seriously sit here and tell me that he isn't a rock star in rugby league? Have we had the last time I can think of a rock star in rugby league was Sonny Bill Williams.
Yeah, fair.
That's where, you're on Pepsi commercials and he was just this fervour around him outside of rugby league where, people knew Sonny Bill that didn't watch rugby league. I think Reece Walsh is on that trajectory.
He's got swagger, eh?
He's got the swagger. He had a little bit of controversy too, the bad boy, all that kind of stuff. And also on top of that, what made SBW, such a good superstar too, he had the highlights of the big hits. Now what Reece Walsh has is the crazy highlights of plays that just blow your mind. For example, in last night's game, he had 3 highlights that would be the peak of a highlight for another outside back for the season. He had it in one game. Just unbelievable what he's doing.
He's on he's on just under, he's going to reach 500,000 Instagram followers soon. He's on 430 at the moment. That's 500,000. Ridiculous.
He's nearly at 500,000 and he's been in first grade for 3 years.
Bro, that's crazy.
That is huge numbers. I think you got a Cleary who's on about 300k, Trell 320k. Trell's been in the game for 8 years or so. you got Reece Walsh already on friggin' 420,000. Unbelievable stuff.
Crazy.
And also, like, how, if there was one bloke that, you know, when you see a bloke as good looking as him and as much of a pop star or whatever, you almost expect them to, after the year that he had last year, to go, you know what, fuck, I'm the man. I am the man. I'm just going to do cruise sort of. He's not cruising at all. If anything, he looks better.
Yeah.
Like, the ability to, our attack was super clunky. Renault on that and Ezra just didn't seem to be clicking into gear. So Reece, instead of getting the ball 2 passes out in the fullback position, just said one off the ruck, give me the ball, created multiple opportunities, just one off the ruck. Like, that's taking control of a team as he's 21. 21 years old. We've still got 10 years minimum of Reece Walsh developing as a player.
I reckon he's also the perfect level of arrogant. Like,
Yeah,
he knows he's the man.
Yeah.
But he's not
Yeah.
a Derek about it.
Yeah, and look, he's going to be polarizing. Like, if when he plays for Queensland, if you're a New South Welshman, you're going to hate his guts. Like, I get it, because he has that swagger that makes you, if he's on the other team, you dislike him. But if he's on your team, you love that shit.
Yeah.
You know, so.
For sure. But as a Blues fan as well, I actually, last Origin was when I truly started to respect him, because as much as, yes, he pissed me off as a Blues fan, all the talk was, they're going to bash him, they're going to bash him, they're going to bash him. And I thought, he'll cave, for sure.
Yeah.
And he was probably one of the toughest blokes on the field.
Yeah.
For the whole series.
Well, he ran it straight back at Payne Haas.
Yeah, it was unreal.
Found his front.
He really has shown us all the different levels, everything that we need to see. You respect him. He's good looking. He's a lad, but he's also, I just love the way he gets around the field. Like, I don't know, what do you reckon, Kemba? It's like the way he moves, the way he runs.
Yeah,
It's just,
he glides.
yeah, that's what I mean. It just looks different to everyone else on the field, whether he's running off the ball or he's got the ball. He just
so
just
true.
looks good.
He's just an entertainment machine.
100%.
Like, he's there to entertain. And he even spoke about it post-match. What I was like, you know, watching him last night, I just remember back to watching his highlights as a teenager, reacting to them. So when I used to react to young fellas coming through. And I remember saying at the time, like, this can be Darius Boyd's replacement long-term. That's how long ago. We're talking like 4 or 5 years ago now. Right. And it's just crazy. Sometimes you watch those highlights of young guys against other young guys, and you're like, he might not be able to get away with that in first grade. Bro, he's doing what he was doing against under 16s. He's doing that in first grade at the top tier level. It's absolutely amazing. And mate, I love him as a player. I think he's incredible. He's so good for the game. And you know how many extra eyeballs he's going to get to the game? Like, think about how many women watch the game purely for him. Like, it's honestly, it reminds me of when I was coming through. So, Reece, if you ever have trouble with superstardom, just give us a call, bro. I'll fucking walk you through it.
In all seriousness, but he makes me watch the Broncos just because of how electric he is.
Yeah, and he'll throw an intercept. He'll fucking throw, like, he had multiple errors last night, but he does not give a shit. He just goes, nah, all good. I'm just going again.
I wonder how much of an impact his time in Queensland had last year as well. He's got that bit, like, if you look at it, he's a lot different in terms of his swagger and his confidence, and he doesn't have the same system, but it's that Billy Slater type action where, you know, I think you accept that, yeah, he's going to make a few mistakes because the shit he's trying to do at the speed and the intensity with that level of confidence, you got to accept it. But I do think he become a lot more well-rounded from last year. Like you said, what could happen? He's confident. He's had success. Could he go down? But I feel like it just developed his game in all areas. Exposure to Queensland, having to take a little bit more leadership, being a grand final team.
Yeah. I agree. I think he definitely leveled up after Origin last year for sure.
Yeah, massively. Now, look, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows in regards to, like, the Broncos' performance. Super scrappy. Look, I don't know. I'm fighting with myself this year because I don't want to come on the podcast every week and go, they need to complete higher. I think I need to put my own bias aside of what I think is the way they should play and almost just accept the Broncos, they're going to chip and chase. They're going to spin it from anywhere on the field. They don't give a shit because it just seems like this is their style of play.
Yeah.
They're going to complete. Now, again, last night was worse than normal, but they're probably going to complete around 75%, but you're going to get the most exciting rugby league, you know, of the year each week with the Broncos. But there were certain things I thought that were pretty poor. First 20 really poor. I thought Kobe Hetherington, unfortunately, who I'm a massive fan of, sometimes if you're a guy like Kobe Hetherington who is in the side because you're super tough and durable, and you get through your work, you can't afford to have multiple errors. And he came on, he had an immediate error, I think, on his first run, and then he dropped that ball off Paddy Carrigan. And so something like that was really uncharacteristic. And unfortunately, look, if you're a guy that is, I'll just say like kick out or something like that, you can kind of like get away with that because you're this like attacking superstar. Not to say that Kick-Out's doing that now. And so with Kobe, I hope he sorts that out because we really need him to step up in totally another gear because he was incredible in the grand final last year.
Yeah, when you're playing a role, you need consistency. Like your best and your worst game has to be here.
For
not
sure.
Here.
And when you're like he's a toiler.
Yeah.
So like, you know, maybe you can speak to this. You would have been different to me. Like because I wasn't a big winger, so I'm not going to go out and be able to take 20 hit-ups and make 200 metres. I always try to pride myself on, well, what I can do is like the big winger might make 2 errors, I make 0 errors. So that's the trade-off that I try to give. I think with Kobe, when you're in a forward pack like Paddy and Haas, what you can offer is just like dog toil work and like no errors. A few of the other boys like Tapua, he went back to the kind of old offloading when he didn't need to. He was so good for us last year. So I did think some of the forwards last night just need to just fix those errors up a little bit, especially when you look across from you and you see Paddy and Payne not making errors.
I will say, sorry to cut you off, before the game I looked in the sheds and I saw Wilson and I thought, thank God he's not playing. Yeah. What do you reckon about him?
Well, I think Kevy's been patient. And I'm not sure who he would... I mean, I don't think anyone played, so poorly they need to be dropped or anything like that. But I do believe that one of those bench players, if you do come on and make 2 errors, you're opening yourself up to the young throbber that's like on your heels. I think probably at the moment it'll be Tapua that makes way if he doesn't bounce back. Now he might bounce back and play incredible next week. But that's the thing. When you're in a side like the Broncos, it's so much competition for spots that you can't even afford to have one bad game because you've got guys that come through. So hopefully those boys is just a tough night, and it probably was. It's one game. They were the backbone of our forward pack last year, the unsung heroes, them and Jensen. But we just need one forward to really pick up the slack from Flegler because that's probably, I think sometimes we do miss him on the field, especially when Haas goes off.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Piacora, geez, mate, how good was he? That footwork. Anyway, we'll get to the Rabbitohs now. So all in all, like for the Broncos, just quickly, sometimes you can have a scrappy win, you make a few errors, you just got to put it behind you. You got the 2 points.
Yeah.
Don't focus too much on it. Just acknowledge, okay, I lost a bit of concentration there and just focus on the next week. I don't think they should dwell too much on that performance.
Double down on the wins.
Yeah, for sure. It's early in the season. It's you got the win. That's all that matters. And I think Kevy said that. He said, look, it was super scrappy, but we got the win. We just move forward. And that's with Kobe, Tapua, Paddy, all the boys. Whether you played good or bad, you just move forward together as a unit. Hopefully Renault's okay. That's something to watch for sure. Now, on to the Rabbitohs. Really disappointing from the Rabbitohs. Yeah. I think the concern for me with the Rabbitohs is that if they had a finish last year on a relatively solid note, I would have no concern with the opening 2 rounds because it is literally the start of the year. My concern is that, yes, it is a new year, but this is now, their 12th game on the trot where it's been nowhere near what we know they can play. Look, you could look at the stats and you could go, last week they completed 80%. This week they completed around 63, but it was like 50 at one stage. So you could make the argument that last week they had decent completion rate, so that's not an issue. But it's not necessarily the completion rate. It's the mistakes in crucial moments that I feel like it's been a bit of a trend with them for at least 12 games. And so for them, it's a little bit different where you can't just go, it's only round 2, don't worry about it. I kind of like... The problem is if it happens again next week, and they're playing friggin' the Roosters next week, so it's not an easy thing. All of a sudden you're 0-3. All of a sudden the headlines write themselves. And I just think that they need to really, really sit down, have a real honest conversation and go, boys, like we proved in both of the 10 minutes after halftime what we can do. And it was all through the middle. And all it was rolling the sleeves up and just fucking running hard. If they can just do that for 80 minutes, they can take it to anyone.
Yeah, I just feel like it's an identity crisis at the Rabbitohs. Like you said, it is a bit of a crossroads. You're coming out this year and you've got expectations again. Surely they can do this. Look at the team, and now they've under-delivered. You said it. You're only a couple rounds from questions being asked about the coaching, about players, about where they're going to be this season. So it just doesn't look to me like they've got themselves sorted out. They've got a system. They've got a game plan. Everyone's humming. It's just disjointed. So I don't know what's going to be the catalyst for them to just play to their potential. I don't know what it's going to be. Is it going to have to be something significant where there's a shake-up and there's controversy, like you said? But yeah, they just haven't figured it out. And the hope probably was this year that they're going to come out, have a few good rounds, and we're going to be excited about the Rabbitohs season. But
well, because when you have a couple of tough losses to start the season, but they're losses where you showed that you're actually better than that. Like the Rabbitohs have showed in both games, they are much better than what the result has suggested. The problem is as a tight-knit playing group, if this continues, certain people, if you don't want them to have pressure on them from the media, you've got to start playing well. Otherwise, for example, like there's going to be pressure on JD, there's going to be pressure on Lockie Ilias, there's going to be pressure on Trell, which is understandable. Trell's a superstar of the game, even though he's had a good start to the year. So, like as a group, that's when I think those honest conversations of like, boys, if we don't come together and just we're concentrating it for 80 minutes, all we're doing is going to make it harder for ourselves in the next few weeks. What do you reckon, Matty?
Yeah, I agree, but this has been the problem for ages. And if those honest conversations didn't happen last year, didn't happen in the preseason, didn't happen now, like it's easy to say, oh, they just have to fix that. When you're right, they do. But I'm getting less and less hopeful that that's going to happen because we say this every week and nothing gets fixed. I can't see how they turn it around next week and make 4 errors in the game instead of 14. Like I don't see where it's going to come from because it's been a problem for so long now.
Well, the thing is again, they completed 80% against Manly. It was more just like in the crucial moments where they needed to hold the ball.
Yeah.
They would, so it's hard to focus too much on the completion rate per se. Like obviously last night was not good enough, but you've also got another game. So you've got 2 games so far. One where it was good completion, one where it wasn't. So as I said, it's not necessarily the completion. It's just like key moments where the game is in the balance and it's just like a drop ball, a penalty, just a brain explosion to a degree.
You're right, but like in the first game, you're right, 80%, but 3 errors led to tries.
Yeah.
They didn't defend their errors. Last night, to their credit, they actually defended their errors pretty good.
Yeah.
But, there's downtown penalties. There's kicking it into a player. We lost the scrum.
Well, there were 2 in the front of a kicker penalties against them.
Yeah.
Which is they've been told, like all teams have been told, this is getting cracked down on. Then there was kicked it into your own player. Like that's 3 errors right there that are just like, if it happens once, you're like, okay, one time, it's all good. It's a new rule. But like 3 times, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Look, we have to ask the questions of why Cam Murray was moved to an edge. I respectfully disagree with that decision. I think that he is way too important to that side to be moved to an edge. And I understand the thinking of JD here. He's sitting there going, okay, I've got this rookie in Tallis Duncan against a juggernaut at in Brisbane. Is it too soon to start him on an edge? I personally, and I would have said this before the match because I actually thought Tallis Duncan was starting on the edge. I personally think that he should have started him on the edge and just said, you know what, I'm going to back him all the way in. We're not talking about a guy in his 2nd or 3rd game. He's had 8 games of NRL now. He's one of the best young guys coming through. He's gritty, he's tough. It's not like he's necessarily known as this flary edge back rower. I would have trusted Tallis Duncan. I mean, I'm sure JD trusts him, but I would have said, okay, yes, I understand he's a rookie, but we just cannot afford to have Cam Murray out of the middle of the field. And we saw as soon as he moved back in there, quick play the balls. I mean, he's so vital. I was very surprised at that decision to move Cam Murray out there.
I don't think you can't weaken one position just to try and strengthen another one. Like Cam Murray is easily the most important player at South, equal to Latrell. But yeah, we saw it last week with the Broncos as well, and this was a forced change. So Piakora got HIA, Carrigan had to move there. That changed the whole game.
Yeah,
that changed the entire game. Like Cam's got to be in the middle.
Yeah, but also, what are you chasing? Are you chasing impact or stability? Because I'm saying Rabbitohs need stability. I need Cam Murray in the middle owning that as a leader. That's definitely his best contribution.
Yeah, I agree. I think you've got to keep him in the middle, and you've just got to, like, Talis Duncan, it's not like he's an okay rookie that is playing a bit of footy and we're developing. Like, he's a gun rookie. Very surprised that. And when he went out there, I thought Talis Duncan was really good.
Yeah.
He was really good. So I was very surprised with that. Also surprised Gagai getting... Was it dropped? Was it not dropped? I don't know. I thought he was good round one.
Well, the word was that he was training with the reserves and Tane was training with first grade, so he got dropped, I guess.
Maybe I didn't watch the game as closely as I thought, but I thought he was good round one. I didn't think... And
Yeah,
also,
I agree.
like,
I thought he was great.
You know, I feel like if there was a person you'd probably, you know, a place to take, it wouldn't have been Kenners and you put Tane in the centres.
Yeah.
Unless is Tane not a centre? I thought he's played.
Tane's played every position.
played.
But
Played everywhere.
yeah.
You know, unfortunately, Kenner, once again, I think he struggled a little bit last night. Look, in South's defence, they are missing Arrow, Campbell Graham, and also Jackie Whiten.
Yep.
So
Big names.
they are big names.
Big names.
And if you ever had a question to how important Campbell Graham is to this side, I think last night proved it. They could have absolutely used Campbell Graham. Just his tough carries, his great defence. So, yeah, like, regardless of that,
They're
it's
serious names.
they're serious names. They are, but I still think that, as I said, it's just been quite a while now where they've struggled.
Yeah, the whole potential chat, it's expired a little bit.
Yeah, like if they had finished the year last year like on an okay note, but they finished like a really bad note, you would think that they're going to open the season just guns blazing. And even if they went 0-2, but it was a high quality game and they just got beaten by a better opposition, I think that then you're like, yeah, sweet, that's all good. But unfortunately, like, the Broncos weren't that great. They had good individual performances, but they were there to be beaten. Like, fuck, I mean, it was 12-all. All the momentum in Rabbitohs' favour, and it just completely swung back towards Broncos' way.
Bronx bombed a couple as well. Like, they could have scored some. They could have scored way more points.
For sure.
Just back to the Talis Duncan Cam Murray thing. Like, that problem's not going away. Gyro's not back next week, so
You got to start him. You got to
Demetrio
start
has
him.
about a week to think about what he's going to do.
Surely he starts him.
Well, he has to. Like, Cam has to be the lock.
He has to be in the lock. I do think that, you know, there probably will begin to be pressure on Lockie Ilias. You know, I'm a big proponent of being patient, and I spoke about last week with the fans to be patient. But that's under the assumption that he's going to play solidly going forward. Unfortunately, I think he might need to build his confidence back up. He just doesn't look like a confident 7 that we know he can be a couple of years ago. Some of the kick options weren't the greatest. And the problem is that the more this goes on, the more of a target that's going to be on his back. And you just wonder, are you saving him from that extra scrutiny by getting him out now? Or not exactly now. But, like, for example, let's say you let him have that spot for the next 10 weeks and he doesn't play solidly, he continues to struggle. Is that going to do more damage than going, okay, let's give him a couple more weeks. If he begins to play solidly, we go, yep, all good. But if he keeps struggling, maybe we pull him early rather than later to save him from the massive headlines and the fans that are just going to be riding him.
It's tough, isn't it? There's no, like, right answer, I feel.
And he's so young still.
Yeah.
Like people, like...
It can go one or two ways.
Well, look at Sam Walker. He went back in reserve grade, came back in. He was great at the back end of the year.
And Lockie Ilias, he hasn't been dropped since his debut, so it could be the best thing for him. It kind of just, as you said, just burst the bubble now. Because you look on social, like, I would hate to be Lockie Ilias now and reading through Instagram comments. Like, he's getting attacked left, right, and centre. Like, maybe it'll be the best thing for him.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think that you definitely got to give him at least a round or two more. But if he continues to look like he's not as confident and all that kind of stuff, that's when you kind of go, mate, maybe it is. Maybe even if you I don't know, carry him at 14, Havili was really good. But
Havili is
he was really good. Aside from that era, he was really good.
He's gone.
But yeah, they're in a tough spot because Lockie Ilias is an NRL 7. He just needs to find that confidence. And also, I think, you know, people can fairly criticise him. He hasn't been the best to start this year, and last year wasn't his best year. But at the same time, when you're looking at the pecking order of importance in that squad and pay packets, he's a pretty fair way down the list of guys that you would probably say it is their responsibility for us to be going well. I know he's a 7 and you like place a lot of responsibility.
Well, he's easily the lowest paid spine member, including 13.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's like, although you can be critical, you know, at the same time, the players around him could maybe help him. Like, I'm not sure, but
there's something to be done strategically though, because he is going to take the brunt for Rabbitohs' losses. It's just
the way it is. As a 7, it's just the way it is.
And that's not going to stop. So if the Rabbitohs do continue with this form, to your point, what is better? Is it better for him to exit and cop that initial backlash, but then go away, chip away, build some confidence and come back, or just have him continue to take the brunt of the Rabbitohs' losses, which will happen?
It will happen. Like, it's just the nature of the beast, but I'm still a massive fan of Lockie, and people are way too easy just to count someone out. Like,
he's a huge talent.
He's a huge talent, and maybe he just needs to build his confidence up. If he comes out next week and goes really well, all good. Couple of slow starts to this, a couple of slow rounds, and then he builds into the season. But yeah, I would say that there is pressure mounting for Rabbitohs. Like, it's not. Unfortunately, they're just the hard. Like a glamour club like that, they're just the hard questions that get asked.
It doesn't get any easier next week.
Oh, it does not get easier. And as I said, all you got to do is, you look at Sam Walker. You could argue he was an even bigger superstar, getting talked about for Origin, the next whiz kid, all that kind of stuff. And although I disagreed with him getting dropped last year, it happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, it did happen. He came back into first grade. Now he is, playing some good footy. So
it's a good case study to look at. Like, you're right. What if Ilias plays averagely for the next 20 weeks? Then it's too late. Like,
my worry is knowing the systems. I think the Roosters have a much better system and culture to facilitate something like Walker being dropped firstly, then going back, the communication, and then coming back to first grade. Knowing what you know, Kempy, I just think...
Yeah, sometimes
do you know what I'm saying?
Not handled well, yeah.
I don't think it would be the same process and pathway at the Rabbitohs, just from my opinion, whereas I think it would have been a very nurtured, well-communicated experience at the Roosters. That's my concern. You've seen it, brother. You can go back to reserve grade and it's crickets, and then it's like...
They don't talk to you.
That ain't a good position to be in either for a young kid who's a halfback. So that would be my only worry.
Well, outside looking in, Sam Walker, in every interview he did, like, he looked like he copped it brilliantly. So to your point, I reckon that's probably right.
Yeah. Well, look, I think Lockie would cop it brilliantly.
Yeah, I think
good
Lockie
young kid.
would, for
I'm talking about Sam,
But it's just like...
My worry is
would the communication be very clear with him? Because, like, if, let's say he goes out and he struggles again next 2 weeks, and you do decide, you know what, we're just going to take him out of the spotlight for a little bit, you've got to be really clear with him, mate. You are still the plan for the next 10 years. You are still a part of this club. This is purely to make you the best player you can possibly be.
And what's the objectives? If you're going back to reserve grade, what do we want to see?
Yeah.
What do I need you to do in this game? Make it crystal clear
your
so they
kicking
can
game
execute.
or whatever. Yeah.
Exactly. They can have the conversation. They can see the improvements. That's how you manage that situation. I would be concerned that would be how it would be executed. That's all I'm saying.
And look, I think also, like, Cody Walker has had a quiet start to the year as well. So those conversations, not necessarily about dropping, but conversations about, you need to step up. I actually think Damien Cook, aside from obviously the 10 in the bin, but I think Cookie's been good.
He's probably, he's been one of the best.
I think he's been good. Trell had some really big moments. Really good.
His try was ridiculous.
His try was crazy. When you see him in full flight, it's just like, you forget sometimes.
For a moment there, it was like people running away from him. I mean, Reece Walsh kind of did, but
he just didn't want to get gassed on the outside, bro.
And his try savers as well.
That's what I mean. You're good in defence. It's always just about if you could just get a little bit more.
Seeing the involvement,
just a little bit more involved, just a few more here and there. Jeez, like unstoppable stuff. But he still had some big moments. Big in defence and in attack.
When's Jackie Whiten back, bro?
Next week.
Next week.
I'm
pumped for that. So hopefully that can be...
He's going to have a cracker of a game. Roosters, Derby.
And hopefully that can be the injection for everyone. Everyone lifts because they've got such a... that energy and... so we'll see. But there definitely is some concerns around Rabbitohs. They are a little bit different to other clubs at the moment just because of all the back end of last year into this year. Whereas, like, if you look at, I don't know, who else that struggled in round one or didn't go that well. I'm trying to think. Dolphins lost. Cowboys won.
Penrith?
Well, Penrith, like, it's not
they
fucking
won.
close. Well, like, Penrith.
Yeah, they're in a league of their own.
They're in a league of their own. But other teams, like, for example, here's a good example. Broncos did a similar situation to South last year. So 2022, essentially like nearly leading the comp, basically
pretty much
dropped out of the 8. Crazy.
Yeah.
If Broncos came out that year, last year, and went 0-2 and, had some crucial errors, we'd be all saying the same thing. We'd be sitting there going, but what did they do? They came out and beat Penrith round 1. And I'm not expecting, Rabbitohs to necessarily do that, but it's just like it's a reaction to what has happened last year. And so that's where I'm just a little bit worried. Now, if there is one squad that can pull it together with the stars they got, it's the Rabbitohs. It really is the Rabbitohs. And I also think, like, just from a pure player perspective, just look at Cam Murray and the work he gets through, how well he plays. Like, you owe it to him. If you owe it to anyone, you owe it to Cam Murray to rip and tear, because that bloke deserves multiple premierships.
Yeah, Murray back in the middle, Whiten coming in. I'm pumped for this game now.
And
the edge next week goes Cody Walker, Colin Matangi, Jackie White, AJ with Latrell around the back. Whew.
And that's the thing. It has to be noted that they're missing key players. But again, it's still that in that middle there, they just got to clean that just a little bit. I thought Kepi, he was really good round 1. I thought he was had a few errors last night. That was like, this is the part of his game that you'll hope is just gone. Is just those errors and mistakes. So hopefully it's just a one-off, and maybe it was heaps humid up there, and it was just because like both teams are making silly errors. But yeah, I thought Kepi was a little bit disappointing last night as well. Cannot wait for next week though. Rabbitohs Roosters. Are you kidding me?
It's gonna be
I feel like every week this week there's like classic matches.
Well, we got next week is Roosters South, but the day before on Thursday is Broncos Panthers.
Oof.
What a round.
Like,
That's
it
lovely.
seriously feels like every week there is huge clashes. Whereas
sure.
like sometimes a few years ago, you get weeks where you're like, not too big a clashes this week. Like there'll be good games, but whereas this like week on week, we're just
You
getting
reckon they
like,
sit down and put much thought into it?
yeah, for sure. There's no doubt in my mind that for example, I think that they made sure that the teams that played in Vegas played each other, like they swapped for round 2. To make it
good,
fair.
Yeah, good, smart move.
To make it fair that, like, mate, you travel to Vegas, you're both going to be on the same, fatigue level.
Yeah.
They've made sure as well, if you look at the draw, the Thursday night game for each week up until round 9 is like an absolute banger. So they're making sure the round starts good too.
So good.
It's good.
So good. Also, don't forget, guys, a reminder, our LDV T60 power play this week was Josh Papali'i. The LDV T60 has 160 kilowatts of grunt, which makes it one of the most powerful utes in its class. And also, Menulog, the code is Lomax for free delivery with Menulog. And also, Musashi, if you use the code BLOKE35, you get 35% off Musashi products, excluding bundles. 35% off.
Such a good deal.
Like, seriously, the protein, you got protein powder, you got energy drinks, you got protein bars.
bullshit.
Yeah, none of this 10%. We're going 35%.
Solid.
So link will be in the show notes. And you'd be surprised at how many different things you can buy on Musashi. It's not just protein powder. We're talking, you name it, they've got it. You name it, they've got it.
And you'd be surprised how many protein bars we've demolished in the last 2 weeks since they sent it to us.
man.
They're so good.
Seriously,
Matty's been constipated for 7 days.
I've been counting my calories lately.
Yeah, right.
Because I want to. I'm trying to. You know what? I'm trying to get like real light. So I'm trying to go easy at the gym in regards to like not put on too much muscle mass. I want to get back down to 85
It's always
kilos.
a problem, mate. Just putting on too much muscle mass.
No, but you know what I'm saying, bro. Come on, bro. You know what I'm saying.
Well,
because
mate, you're a model for Musashi now. Like,
athlete.
you got to pull it together.
Me and
I'm not
Reece
saying
Walsh.
it's not together. Just
What are you saying that I'm not
tighten
pulling
it up.
You reckon I need to tighten it up? Right, that's so fucked. That is fucked. So I've got to head into the weekend getting told I need to fucking tighten it up. That is unbelievable.
And what are you going to say back?
Yeah, you need to tighten it up. looking a bit, you put a bit on there, fucking Sandor over in America, I tell you what. Me and Reece Walsh were actually we're the faces of Musashi. They just said, we need 2 hot young athletes. I said, mate, I'm young as shit, eh? Young as shit. But anyway, bloke 35% off. Do you use a calorie counter or not?
I have in the past.
Yeah.
I feel like it's
I think it's good.
you got to go on that journey because then you have a pretty good understanding
Yeah.
of food. Like you would know, these days I'm not trying to eat all these different foods and meals, so I'm pretty consistent. But once you know the calories of different foods, you're kind of good.
Mate, it would shock you too.
Yeah.
When you start looking at calories,
Like,
you're
you start
like,
doing some of those comparisons, it's like, holy shit. And sauces, bro.
oh, bruh.
Mate, you got a meal in some sauces.
And you'd also be surprised sometimes in things that you think are going to be fucking hectic that aren't.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm using an app called Lose It. Lost about 4 kilos, which is fucking
Nice.
All right. But I want to get down to 85, so I'm going to look really skinny, but that's what I'm supposed to look like. That's actually my So when I get down to 85 and it was like, damn, Denon, you've lost too much weight. No, that's actually, that's what I'm supposed to look like. Like
That's
right
me
now, you're
healthy.
seeing chubby. Yeah, you're seeing chubby now. Well, I mean, not that chubby. Musashi, fucking face of Musashi, something like that chubby,
Can't be
obviously.
that chubby.
Well, me and Reece Walsh. Now, there's been some yarns about Origin New Zealand. New NRL and New Zealand government are reportedly in the very early talks of potentially bringing an Origin game to NZ. They will come back to us with a proposal. That's what Landis has been quoted saying.
Thoughts?
As long as we still get 2 games, I'm okay with it.
Well, we would.
Well, that's what I meant. Like, as long as we don't go like Melbourne,
No.
New Zealand.
Oh, that
There's
would be
only ever
outrageous,
one.
yeah.
Look, I've come around to this because initially I was like, you know what, keep it in Australia. Like it's Queensland versus New South Wales. It's not an international game, but I've thought about it more. I'm like,
It's
you know
our
what,
best game.
it is our best game, and also like, do I care that Melbourne get to see it? Not really, or
Do
Adelaide.
they care?
Yeah, like, well, you know what? I tell you what, I reckon the New Zealand turnout will be hectic.
Well, I think New Zealand makes
Be
more sense than
unbelievable.
Perth.
You reckon?
100%.
Well, Perth is a growing market.
Yeah.
For rugby league, though.
Did a lot of cash there too in Perth. A lot of the quiche up over there.
They are. They're throwing cash at every sport.
Mate, yeah, because it was actually, I'm pretty sure Perth was a city built specifically for like business venture. So it wasn't like someone landed there and it just kind of happened. It was someone going out there and creating it. Pretty sure. You can Google that, please, Matty.
Yeah, I just reckon the Kiwis would get around it.
They'll
so
get around
hard.
Origin.
It'll be epic atmosphere.
Surely. What, Eden Park or something? Be Eden Park. Do it.
Yeah.
You'd have to do it there. Do you reckon they'd sell out Eden Park there, though?
50,000, I reckon they would.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Be
I
interesting.
went to the Nines at Eden.
Yeah,
Park.
I
It
reckon
was
they
mad.
would.
You reckon they'd sell it out?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Surely. Because
They know.
And also, like
Origins
to fly from Australia from New Zealand to New Zealand, it's not that expensive.
bad.
Not that bad. So you get Aussies going over there. Tell you what, if you go to New Zealand, Queenstown, got to get there. You been to Queenstown?
You know what's crazy? I haven't.
Bro,
It's ridiculous.
You been
I
to
know.
Queenstown?
Yeah, I've been there.
Mate.
It's great.
I can't believe I haven't.
it's not that expensive. It's a 3 or 4 hour flight max, 3 hours.
Well,
It
our
is.
season, which one did you go in?
Mate, you can go on both.
Yeah?
You go in the winter, mad snow,
Yep.
skiing, everything, extreme sport. You go in the summer, you've got all like hiking. Like it is honestly, it's heaven on earth. It's like, you know what it's like? It's like Vegas for non-degenerates. You know, so
Wholesome
it's
Vegas.
It's wholesome Vegas. Because like, you know, you got nice food, beautiful wines.
I hear great things about
wineries.
food, eh?
Yeah.
And you got like good grown-up stuff to do. You know,
I,
what I'm
I
saying?
went in about March, so there wasn't like much snow or anything. I don't think there was any, but just the walks, like it was beautiful.
Like everywhere you look, as soon as you land and you like look around, you're like, oh my, the scenery here is unbelievable. And it's like, it's not too cold, beautiful. Like, so it's in this little, it's set in this, I don't know, enclave, probably the wrong word, but it's on the water, but it's surrounded by mountains. So you're in this little town out looking to the ocean, surrounded by mountains.
mad.
It is unbelievable, bro. I cannot, like, if I ever get rich, I would buy a house there. That's how good it is.
There's a great pub in there, and I went years and years ago, but I was watching Rabbitohs play in the pub, and I had to go to the toilet, and in the urinal that I was literally pissing on was a projection of the game. Like,
No way.
yeah, ridiculous. I'm like, oh wow, this will come to Australia. Never seen it
Never
again.
seen it. Wow.
That's mad.
Yeah,
So to watch the
it's
game
mad.
on.
It's so good. Then the food is absolutely beautiful. Alrighty, Sharkies versus the Doggies. How do you see this one playing out? The door?
Ooh, man. I kind of low-key had expectations for the Doggies this
Really?
year. Maybe just a hope, you know. I think to see some improvements, but yeah, I think the Sharkies get this done easily.
Can I jump in just quickly?
Yeah.
There was a report last night that Kiraz has ambitions to play fullback, and I thought when I read that, wow, I love it. But what did you guys think?
Look, I don't mind it because, I mean, can he ball play though? That's, I guess,
Oh
the
yeah,
question.
a lot of questions, but
A lot of questions. I mean, at the moment, it's just, with Taff, he's another kind of guy that maybe needs some time in New South Wales Cup to build his confidence back up. Because it's been 2 games now where he's struggled a little bit. But look, I don't mind it. I'd still be putting Critter back there.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I just get his hands on the ball, get him involved. Yes, he's one of the best centers in the world, but who's to say he can't be one of the better fullbacks? I don't get it. He's so athletic. He's so athletic.
There's a couple of them players, isn't it? Like centre is that position where you can have some really nice touches and some good impact and defence, obviously. But you see some of these guys come back to fullback and they just get a lot more touch points. They can have a far greater impact on the game. I would, personally, right now, I would be doing the same.
Yeah, just get him back there so he can get his hands on the ball. So he's got an opportunity when the game's like the momentum's against you. He's in around the ball to do something. Whereas at the centre, he can't. He has to hold his width. Like people think, oh yeah, just be a roaming centre. You know how good your team system has to be to allow a centre to roam. Like there's a reason why only the top tier teams allow centres to roam. Because if you've got a centre in a lower tier team and the systems aren't great, they spin the ball, the centre's not there.
I don't think Critter's a Mitchell, but what I would say about Latrell Mitchell, the want and the need for him to have more touch points, I feel like Critter would be everywhere.
Yeah, he'd be everywhere.
You know what I mean?
He'd almost be similar to like a Joey Manu,
Yep.
who I think is a better centre. But for example, if he was to play for the Dragons, you'd be putting Joey Manu at fullback because you want his hands on the ball.
What do they need?
Okay, Penny Panthers Eels.
Oh, another great
Eels
game.
paying
Pumped for this
$3.06.
game, eh?
This is brought to you by Sportsbet, obviously. Eels are paying $3.06.
Oh,
Such good value.
And Penny Panthers $1.38.
wow.
Put it this way, I wouldn't be back in Penrith head to head. That's way too short, I think. I reckon Eels are great value.
I reckon they're great value too. Might have a
So
little
value bet,
sneaky
you're
on
going
Sportsbet.
Eels, but are you picking Penrith?
Yes.
You know what? If Moses was fully fit, I'd probably consider tipping Para, but just that makes me tip Penrith.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm taking Penrith, but
Okay.
putting some cash on Sportsbet on the Eels.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you better believe it.
Raiders Tigers. I think Raiders, they're looking good to me.
Keen to see Galvin. Really keen to see Galvin.
Oh, I tell you what though, if Galvin thought he was in for an easy night, Ricky Stewart is going to run Papali'i and Tarpanet at him all day long. So get the shoulder pads on, Bruss. Maybe
reckon-
just for this one game.
You reckon?
Holy
Do you reckon,
Just the one.
fuck.
do you reckon he'll start?
Galvin?
Yeah,
He's already been named, hasn't he?
he's been named, but they could easily flip it because
Oh,
Caesar's on the
I
Caesar's
don't-
on the bench.
What's the point of doing that?
Yeah,
Like,
I'll take Green Machine.
The Green Machine? But what's the point of so Galvin gets all this press and they put in that'd be strange. Oh, I think they'll start for sure.
I'm tipping Raiders.
Raiders, okay. Then next we have North Queensland Cowboys, Newey Knights.
I reckon Cowboys put a score on them.
Cowboys
13 plus.
hot. Knights. That's a good example. Knights, even though they were disappointing round one, you can give them a couple rounds because they finished. You can give them 3 or 4 rounds to get a gauge because they finished so strongly. Whereas obviously, compared to Rabbitohs, that's the kind of
The
difference.
theory you've got going here, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's like, because some people go, well, it's only round 2, there's nothing to read into it. And then some people go, well, hang on a sec, then when do you start fucking judging? What's the round you're allowed to start judging?
Yeah.
I think it really does depend on how did they finish the year last year. I think that gives you a good gauge of how much you can judge round one or 2. Anyway, Cowboys, Knights? Not
You gotta
Cowboys?
go. Cowboys.
Cowboys?
Cowboys.
Cowboys. Storm, Warriors. Warriors paying $2.83, and I think did they get as far out as $3?
Yeah, they
at
were
one
over
stage?
threes before.
I think I might have given them with the line maybe. 6. I think it's a 6.5 line or is it an 8.5? Anyway, what are you going?
Got to go Storm.
Storm.
Yeah, I reckon Chance is such a loss. Like he adds so much to their attack.
I agree.
I'm going Melbourne.
Okay, Manly Roosters.
Oh,
This will be a
Another
cracking
banger.
game.
That's tough.
I'm going Roosters. I just think in that forward pack, when you compare forward packs, even obviously Olakau'atu on the Manly side, that's where I think the battle will be won with the Roosters. They just got a crazy forward pack.
if you drop these two teams in a random park, I tip the Roosters because it's a brookie.
Rookie, yeah.
I'm just going. That's giving me the edge. I'm going Manly.
I tell you what though, fuck me. If Luke Brooks plays well, the connection between Brooks and Brookvale is like made in heaven. Like literally made in
Literally
heaven.
in an
Actually, why they signed him.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Manly.
Ooh, he's on the Tommy Turbo train. He's on the Tommy Turbo train. Dolphins, Dragons. Mate, I like
This is
the
a tough one.
Dragons.
I want to see the Dragons just...
You know what? I'm ready to get my heart broken with the Dragons.
Yeah.
I'm getting around them. I'm getting around them. Fuck it. I'm getting around. Look, it's round 2. I'm getting around them.
I'm getting on the train.
Okay, Dragons.
Dragons.
Okay.
Dragons for me too.
Oh,
Now, recently, USA potentially banning TikTok. The USA House of Representatives have passed a bill that would force TikTok's Chinese parent company to sell it or face being banned in the country. The bill still needs to pass a few more steps before it can become a law. Some countries have raised concerns from the data from TikTok is being shared with the Chinese government, which would be a security risk. The TikTok CEO Xiaozin Shu addressed these concerns during a US committee hearing last year, saying TikTok has never shared or received a request to share US user data with Chinese government, nor would TikTok honor such a request if one were ever made. Isn't this a weird situation?
This is crazy.
It's like, hang on a sec. Pretty sure Facebook and Instagram smash my data and give it to everyone they can.
Yeah.
But it's like at the same time, China, they're not necessarily an enemy of the United States, but they're not exactly an ally. Like they are superpowers that are fighting each other to a degree.
And they're under the radar.
It's under the radar stuff.
Loud, like you can't tell me that they're not taking the piss with that information. And that's not them infiltrating America.
And also, like the CEO, with what we've seen, like with do you really think he's going to come out and be like, yeah, they've actually done that?
Oh, obviously he's going to deny everything.
It's a weird one. Surely there's a way to be able to do this without banning it. Like saying we need access to your back end.
They go as far to say like China, the in-depth of the strategy is like they're just constantly feeding bullshit and rubbish content to the use of America. It's like,
and like in China, apparently there's like all these restrictions and like educational TikToks and that. You know, it's so hard to know what the truth is though.
It is.
Yeah. There's so much misinformation.
You can only think about it for like literally as long as we're talking about it, and then it's like just stop because you just don't know.
You don't know because it's just there's so much misinformation out there. Like,
and there's a political play as well because Biden was the one that Trump wanted it originally banned. Biden was the one that said no. Now Biden wants it banned. Trump's
it's the exact opposite now.
No. Yeah, you know. So
you know what? Even on a lower level down in Australia, so Albanese said it won't affect Australia, but then someone from the opposition had a go at him for that. It's all you're right. It's all political.
That's right, and like that's why I hate politics. Is like. All they do is just choose the opposite stance to each other and then create reasons as to why you should do it.
It's a popularity contest.
It's all they do. Whereas like, why can't you just be the best policymakers? Like just genuinely sit down, doesn't matter what the other team's doing, and just be like, what's the best policy for this country?
Yeah, it can't be rocket science.
Like, fuck, it's craziness. Anyway, there you go. There's your geopolitics, pack her up, boys, opinion. Look, I don't know what the fucking answer is. Banning TikTok, that's pretty hectic. Like, that's a crazy precedent to set.
I just don't think it falls in the conspiracy theory bucket. Like, you can't tell me that there's not something
going on
deeper.
there.
Like, TikTok, think of the power, think of the audience, think of the data that they have, and that's in China's hands. Like, come on.
Half the population of America have TikTok. Like, that's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous amount of data.
I'll tell you what's crazy, though. You want to talk about conspiracy theories. Have you seen this thing about the blue roofs?
What?
No.
Have you heard about this?
Nah.
Bro, so you know the thing that happened in Hawaii?
No.
How there was the big fire in Maui and everything burned.
Yeah.
And they're saying it was lasers, right? So now they're showing all these areas. The only things that didn't get burnt is things that that were blue or had a blue roof. And these celebrities have houses with blue roofs. Bro, it's wicked. You want to go down a rabbit hole on your Friday night? Go down the blue roof rabbit hole.
I can't go with you, brother.
It's insane.
I can't go that deep.
And what's his name? Bill Gates. He's buying up all of the areas.
Get out.
Right, it's crazy. Blue roofs. Check it out.
Oh, I can't go that deep.
You're welcome.
I can't go that deep with you. Holy shit. Mate,
God.
you know what? I just choose to just go, it's too much. I'm just focused on me, baby.
I dabble in it.
You dabble?
Yeah, I dabble.
You're a conspiracy dabbler?
Yeah,
Maybe
I'm a
we
dabbler.
should fucking chuck a tinfoil hat on next time and just go down some deep, non-controversial conspiracies because there's some fucking real rank ones getting around.
Scallops there, yeah.
Holy crap. And the thing is with conspiracy theories, we've joked about it before, super aggressive. Like if you say, listen, I don't believe that conspiracy theory, that's offensive to them. That's offensive.
I had to pull my missus up a couple of weeks ago. She started talking to me about flat Earth. I said,
Oh, no.
I said, look,
No.
mate, that's enough.
You've gone too deep then. You've gone way too
It's
deep.
not even the depth that concerns me. It's are you trying to convince me or are you telling me about this? That was my concern.
Holy heckers. And you know what? There's someone listening right now that was about to comment. Hang on a sec, mate. Have you checked out this YouTube video on Planet? I don't want to see it, bros. I don't want to see it, and I don't mean any disrespect that I don't agree with your opinion. Please stay out of it. Mate, what's the plan for the next couple of weeks? You're going away again, aren't you? Next week, is it?
Yeah, up to Burleigh next week.
The Burleigh. You'll be on the Burleigh Hill, won't you? Just give us one flick. Just give us one photo. Just for the potty.
Done.
Shirt off.
Deal.
Burleigh Hill. Deal. Just prime position Sandor. Far out. If that hill wasn't made by God for you to walk on it, I'm fucking not here.
What a spot, Burleigh.
Mate, I reckon God specifically made the lighting for six-packs on that hill. Like just to bounce off the trees. I don't know what it is. Maybe the flat earth. I don't know. Maybe the earth's flatter there. But six-packs are looking more defined there. What do you reckon?
I believe it.
You believe it?
I'm going to put the theory to test.
You know what I would love to do is get someone to film you fucking kit off. So maybe just budgies or just shorts. Just one lap. But film the reactions. I want to see. Because you know what Burleigh Hill is? It's like an old watering hole with a tribe where like we used to go down there and like fucking impress the women and everyone's talking and looking at each other. That's what Burleigh Hill is just young people looking to mate. Mate, it is unbelievable.
All I've heard about is it the Burleigh Pav?
Yeah, which is literally just near there.
All I've heard about Goldie is just that venue.
Well,
I want to go there.
That's the spot.
It is unbelievable. Like, put it this way, we take it for granted because we live in Australia. It's one of those places that if you went there on a tourist destination, you'd be sitting there going, what is happening right now? Because it is on the beach, literally overlooking like beautiful beach stretches that go for kilometers, and then you can see surface, everything. But yeah, Burleigh Hill, it's like bees to honey, seriously.
Oh, mate, you'll find some characters, the Burleigh Pub and every NRL player.
Mate, when I was in Good Nick
spot.
in Single, and I like walked there, one time I was just walking there. I didn't go there often because I lived in Mudgeerba, which is like 20 minutes inland. And this random dude for no reason, like we're at the beach. It is summer. I had my shirt off walking, and this random dude goes, put a fucking shirt on. Just filthy at me randomly. I'm at the beach. And so I want to ask you.
Swear.
Yeah, just randomly. Now that's when you know you're rigged up though. I was rigged up at the time. Clearly,
jealousy.
I was, put it this way, I didn't need to tighten up. I was tight like a tiger. I want to ask you boys, how many kilometers back from the beach does it become uncouth to not have your shirt on? Like how close do you need to be to the beach to be in beach attire?
I think you can be in the suburb.
Suburb?
You can be in the back streets and like you could be. That's beach zone.
That's beach
I'm
zone.
walking into shops with my shoes off.
No way.
100%.
Okay, how many suburbs in then? How deep does this go?
I reckon it's the surrounding suburb of the beach. You start to go further than that, it's
Getting a bit strange.
you're getting yelled at.
Like for example, I saw a dude the other day, a gym dude, like on honestly every steroid on earth, literally down the road from here with his shirt off, just cruising.
Just a sunny day,
And,
like
bro,
shirt off.
But it wasn't even that hot. Super uncouth that.
Yeah.
That's like, bruh, come on. We're living in a civilized society.
that ain't got nothing to do with the beach.
Like, you're nowhere near the beach. Look, I've done hard workouts before, never needed to fucking walk home with my shirt off in the middle of the city. Like, come on, what do you reckon, Matty? How many
It depends how good a nick you're in, first of all.
I've probably done it.
See, no, but I actually think it's vice versa.
You reckon?
The shittier rig, the more K's back you can be with a shirt off from the beach. Because it's funny then. Whereas the better your rig, the closer to the beach you have to be. Because it's like, all right, bro, you've got a good rig. Like,
I'll give you the suburb because, like, if I'm looking at Coogee, for example, I could go to many times I've done this. Go on a chat tie, for example, with no shoes and maybe just budgies on. But
Where?
Chat tie, it's like a tie place, but it's like not close to the beach. It's kind of like, you know, maybe
budgies, you reckon?
maybe 700 meters back.
budging up into a restaurant.
Oh no, it's a takeaway. It's a takeaway-ish restaurant. It's kind of like a hybrid.
Budgie, yeah, that's controversial, but
That
I
is,
like it.
just rolling in for
Yeah.
food in your budgies.
Yeah. Well, I used to live like right there as well, so it was my area. But if I don't want to be in, for example, Randwick Junction, which is
No.
probably another 200 meters up the road in that same kit.
That's
So I'm saying suburb.
One suburb.
it's
One
not
suburb,
illegal,
like the
but
suburb.
that would be concerning if you were to walk into the junction in your budget.
In your budgies, yeah.
That is-
What do you reckon?
What do I reckon?
Yeah.
Look, I reckon you've got to be in the suburb. That's when it's like, I'm a surfy dude, bruh. You can do those ones. Fuck, bruh. If you do that, bruh, with your shirt off, it's like accepted.
You're fine,
If
yeah.
you're doing these ones, but you're living in the country, like I grew up in the country.
Well, you got
very
the
strange.
shops like that little hub just across from Burleigh. Are you cruising around there shirtless, no problems?
Look, currently in the rig that I'm attired in, no. because that's embarrassing. But when I'm rigged up, tight as a tiger, yeah,
All day.
all day, just looking like an absolute beast. Similar to Reece, to be honest. Actually, you know what? If there's one thing he could work on, he could get a bit more definition. Just saying.
He actually was.
Just saying. Reece,
Sure.
you're not that hot, mate. Just so you know. You're not that hot. Saw June 2 the other day. Have you seen... Are you a big movie guy?
Well, yeah, I am, but I feel like they've taken away my opportunity to really get around movies. Like, I was a big cinema guy too.
As in working so much, you can't...
Well, I just feel like, don't you reckon back in the day, like I was waiting for the next movie to come out, and like where but like I said, I used to go to the movies, the cinema. When was the last time you did that?
That's what I went to June 2.
Well, yeah, there you go. When was the last time you went before that?
Before that, only for big movies now. Now it's like you just, wait till it streams.
You don't even hear about, you know what I mean? Like, surely it was like every month. Plus, we had the free cinema pass. I probably
That probably did it.
Yeah,
That probably did
That's what I was going to say. Like, it's pretty expensive to go to the movies.
How long
at
do
the
you
moment.
reckon it's dead? Cinema's done.
I think there'll always be a place for it.
There's
It'll
still
just
enough
increase
cash.
in price.
There's still enough
Put it
money
this way,
involved.
June 2 at IMAX was one of the most crazy experiences I've ever had. Like, you have to see it in
Yeah.
IMAX. Oh, my God. Because there's a new IMAX in Sydney here. Bro.
Is that where you went?
Yeah, it is.
June 2 looks cracker, but what if I told you I haven't seen June 1? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Mate,
same.
throw her on, bruh.
know,
It's
I
a bit of
know.
a slow burn, but I like that. But there's some... it's so good.
Speaking of movies and Netflix, Jake Paul, Mike Tyson on Netflix.
It's like...
How much
Wow.
cash you reckon they're throwing at
Oh,
Tyson?
bro.
You know what
Look, put it all aside. It's gangster. Firstly, that they're fighting, but on Netflix, like, these are big moves.
Oh, crazy moves. And I tell you what, if you want to shake up combat sports, it's Netflix getting involved. That's that
And that's where
changes
they're all
everything.
going. All streaming networks are going towards sport and boxing,
Yeah.
obviously.
Because sport's like the last real bastion of almost guaranteeing an engaged audience. Whereas like movies and TV shows are so hit and miss. But if you've got a sport, like no one else watches, you don't watch anything else live anymore other than sport. And so like that's Netflix coming into it. I will say though, nothing makes me sick to my stomach than thinking of Jake Paul bashing the great Mike
Oh,
Tyson.
I hate
That
it.
can't
I
happen.
hate everything about it. Surely it won't happen.
Well, they reckon they're pushing for a genuine fight, like a sanctioned fight.
Oh, really?
And could you imagine if Jake Paul knocks out
I'm done.
the GOAT?
Yeah,
I
that'd
don't
be
know. I
heartbreaking.
don't know what I'm done means, but like,
Surely Jake Paul has
Right, I
enough
wanna
see
respect.
it. I don't
Surely
wanna
he has
see it.
enough respect for him not to do that though.
yeah.
'Cause,
And
like,
surely,
that's
like,
so
you let
wrong.
him back up, and then you don't knock him out.
You
Like,
don't knock him out.
can't.
I, honestly, if I'm being totally honest, I think, and I know Jake Paul gets a lot of shit, and he's done so many dumb things and whatever, but he has become a student of boxing. Like he's genuinely
Yeah,
trying to
he
be a
can't.
boxer.
100%.
I think he respects Mike Tyson too much. I think he doesn't knock him out.
You can see it. Like, you're shitting yourself. This ain't a game for Mike Tyson. It's still Mike Tyson. I don't care if he's 50 or not. But do you think, is there a chance, still see Mikey on the pads,
No,
is there a chance he
he'll
can get
gas.
it done?
No, I think he'll gas, surely. Mate, he's like 50 or so. He's
I
like
know.
40.
And that Roy Jones fight was not like...
It was an exhibition.
It wasn't
He'd
great.
gas. Look, what I do think though is I think Jake Paul has the ability to knock him out, as in the power.
Yeah.
He might lose the fight, but what I'm saying is that it's not like he doesn't have enough power to knock
100%.
an old Mike Tyson out.
100%.
And I think that if it does get to the case where Mike Tyson gasses and Jake Paul is easily winning, I think that Jake Paul respects him too much and he'll just cruise to the end of the fight. I
You don't
honestly,
think he takes that scalp?
bro, you know how hated he'll be to doing that to an old man?
Sure, yeah, when you put it like that.
Like, it's like, bruh, have some respect for the game.
But you know what he's like? He bigs it up as if it's Mike Tyson. It's Mike Tyson, you know? That's what he has to do. But
It's crazy though, but
I can't watch
I
that.
can't. Oh.
If that happens, I'll be off it.
Well, it's just like that guy paved the way for you, bruh. So just carry him to the end, get your paycheck, and go home.
How real do you think Mike's looking at this going like, A, I cannot lose to Jake Paul, and B, like, I want to flog him. I want to end it. How, on a scale of 1 to 10?
Look, I think Mike is an animal.
Yeah.
So you don't.
This ain't a game.
He's a caged beast. He doesn't go in and go. He's going all in or not in. So I think he's going all in. But he's old, man.
Yeah, he is, bro.
Like, so he might have a good round in him, but fuck, what's he doing getting in around 3 or 4 against a young, in his prime, athletically, obviously nowhere near talented boxer, like not even fucking. But it's just like, I don't know. It would kill me to see a great get knocked out. Because like then you ask yourself, why is a great like Mike Tyson getting swayed by money? He should never have to worry about money ever again.
Well, he ain't gonna now.
Surely
Yeah.
not.
Bro.
No way.
They're
Surely
getting
not.
paid.
Yeah.
Everyone's watching it. They're saying it's going to be, there's no pay-per-view.
Just free.
Saying Netflix are fronting it. You got a Netflix account, you're on.
Wow.
That'll be the most watched fight of all time, probably.
Yeah.
100%.
Because they've got, I think, 280 million subscribers. Right.
I'm very keen to see what it gets to.
What the
just
numbers?
As a
Let's say
tangible figure.
40 million
What?
viewers? 40, 50 million?
Yeah. My barometer of like eyeballs on boxing.
Well, pay-per-view, a big
isn't very
pay-per-view
on.
would be like 2 or 3 million. That's pay-per-view,
okay.
so you're paying for it.
Yep.
And then I think the Super Bowl, well, a soccer, the grand final is like $1 billion, isn't it?
Yeah. I know Cricket World Cup, India, Pakistan gets $1 billion. I know the Super Bowl gets about 100.
Cheat code.
100 million.
So,
Bro,
but this is still subscription. This isn't free to wear, so it's hard to compete. Whereas like soccer is free to wear.
Yeah.
You know, I reckon 40 million viewers. Maybe.
I reckon that's almost conservative.
yeah, I reckon more.
You reckon more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, fuck. But in saying that, like, Mike Tyson is way past it. Yeah, anyway, be interesting. I'll give Mike a call, see how he's going. All right, that is us done and dusted for Packer Up, boys. Make sure to grab a case of bloke beer from your local. Also, don't forget, last time to remind you, Sunday, 2:45, 3:45 New South Wales time, KO. We've got a live show, Matt Gillette, Raystone, plus previewing all the rugby league. Make sure to tune in. And as usual, we'll all go fuck ourselves. Thank you.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.